faith, but to move out of fear to access His faith. If we are true New Testament believers, then we must become a supernatural people who do the impossible, a people who go beyond. Krissy Nelson not only addresses fear, but provides excellent examples of what fear looks like, how it talks to us, and what its goal is. It is a Goliath that wants to paralyze us in a frozen place. Furthermore, she challenges us to go beyond and replace fear with faith. And she lays out a biblical strategy on how to do this. We have entered an era that is not easy. The days ahead will be filled with opportunities for us to freeze in terror. But if we overcome, we must replace those now fears by moving into audacious faith. Faith that rises up to navigate impossible times and tasks. Barbara J. Yoder, lead apostle and founding pastor, Shekinah Regional Apostolic Center, Ann Arbor, Michigan. Introduction. Not long ago, I found myself on the cusp of significant breakthrough in my life. For the first time, I felt ready to step fully into the destiny I knew God had planned for me. I could see it, see Him beckoning to me to walk forward and claim the promised land He had been preparing for me for so long. Yet at the same time, I was paralyzed with fear. Instead of admitting my fear of the future to the Lord, I clammed up in an attempt to remain strong and courageous. I had succumbed to the wrong assumption that being afraid was a sign of weakness and doubt. So confessing I was scared, me, an author, television host, and ministry leader, felt like exposing myself as a fraud. I told myself I should be immune to fear, that if my faith were strong enough, I would not be dealing with these feelings, right? The building pressure had become nearly unbearable. I was in agony. I could feel the roar of breakthrough rising within me, but when I opened my mouth to release it, to release the pressure, all that came out was a whimper. Can you relate to this feeling? I know you can, because I know that everyone is afraid sometimes, everyone. You are not alone, and you are certainly not faithless or a fraud or weak because of it. Friend, it is time to admit your own reasons right here for justifying the expectation that you should be immune to fear. It is time to be honest and real. It might seem strange now, but as you will see in this book, being transparent about your fear is the first step you will take toward your destiny. It is exactly the action that will turn your whimper into a roar that can shake the gates of hell. Trust me, I speak from experience. Truth that calms the storm. Eventually, the pressure behind my fear became so strong that I could no longer ignore it. I could not stuff my feelings anymore because there was simply nowhere left to hide them. In my little room, on my knees before God, I bent down in defeat. Like Peter, I had stepped out of the boat, but when I looked behind me, all I could see were the impossible waters I had crossed over thus far. I wondered, how could I continue to follow Jesus atop the water? How could I maintain a lifestyle of radical faith in order to walk forward further and further from the boat, no land in sight, when I was frozen in terror? I could barely hear Jesus' voice saying, "Come," over the sound of the storm. My weakness as a human being was painfully obvious next to Him. I knew that I faced a new choice: continue forward in faith or surrender to the fear of the unknown. I could almost feel the wind blowing all around me. In my mind's eye, I began to look down at the surface of the water. Every limitation I had, every struggle, and every doubt rose like a giant wave trying to take me down. The storm carried a voice shouting at me to quit right then and there. It said, "You're not good enough. You can't do this. You didn't get here on your own. You should quit now." Yes, the enemy sees the opportunity to dictate the narrative of my life. His voice thundered.